A good evening once again. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark and Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. It's going to be an hours-long bulletin, so do sit tight. Let's give you these updates and get on with it. The NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has directed the Attorney General to compensate war veterans and settle debts of people affected by the Allied Democratic Forces in Chitagwenda. Mr. Museveni gave the directive as he campaigned in Chitagwenda district early on Saturday, where he also pledged to establish a coffee factory and creation of another constituency in the district if voted into office again. These are the details.
Thousands of Chitagwenda residents gathered at Kayombo Primary School playground to welcome and listen to the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The father to the presidential aspirant on Common Man's Party, Mubarak Munyagwa, was among the Chitagwenda residents who turned up for Museveni's rally. He urged his people to vote for Kaguta Museveni come 15th January 2026.
Your Excellency, I want to introduce one of your veterans, the civilian veteran, Mzee Serunga Burhan. He is also a father of Honorable Munyagwa, who is one of the candidates, presidential candidates. And I want him just to greet, give him the microphone.
Omuntu okubanza noyenda okumena we na nisaba abali aho mwena muzeyi mugenzi wanjye kanyowe muleke etamwekwiza tumuhagire abakiri omu tumubanze byaitu byona ebitukumbanza nubabituhereze hangara His Excellency hangara Madam First Lady hangara Government of Uganda.
Mr. Museveni in his campaign address directed the Attorney General to compensate those whose properties were lost during the ADF insurgency and the veterans after the issue was raised by the district authorities.
Then the school lorries which were taken because of the war, those are compensations by the ministry, by Attorney General, should be compensated without fail. The school lorries, PPS, are you there? Yes. Attorney General should compensate those schools with the bus, the lorries. The bus is my pledge. I will implement it myself. But the school lorries are government war debts to be paid by the Attorney General.
He pledged the establishment of a coffee factory and the creation of another constituency out of Chitagwenda.
We are supporting a coffee factory in Kajala, Ntungamo, big one. Here we can support one of the husking and grading and sorting, we can support that one. Then the second constituency, I support that constituency. ibiri tumukakanyire munonga eshatu tumukakanyire munonga ibiri zo nungi.
Museveni also pledged to tarmac the road from Chitagwenda to Kamwenge and extend electricity to the sub-counties that are not connected to the national grid.
So mbwena hangu taijo neja kukorwa esente batu bazitungire zo kweguza tusitungira umushikirana bagambira speaker yabagira ngo bahingwize budget kukora urugotoro kuruta amasyoro konka abantu bagamba kurukererwe bakagamba munonga betegereze ikikukereza nenge okukwata bingi mwena mukimanye nicyo kikuretera ebintu okukererwa konka ikirungi.
The NRM campaigns will on Sunday take a break and resume on Monday with the rallies scheduled in Kamwenge and the Chegegwa districts. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Chitagwenda.
The electorate of Kawempe Division has been urged to embrace the newly introduced door-to-door campaign strategy aimed at mobilizing support for the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and other party cadres. This call was made by the head of the Youth Wealth Creation Program, Faison Daze, during an engagement with beneficiaries of the program at St. Peter's Church, Kanyanya in Kawempe North, Kampala district. Let's take a look.
Clad in yellow t-shirts, branded Youth Wealth Creation Form 7, scores of residents chanted and danced to songs praising the NRM party chairman. During the event, the Deputy RCC for Kawempe Division implored residents to embrace government programs geared towards socio-economic transformation, a message that inspired participants to form a circle aimed at uplifting livelihoods.
Nti olwokuba babagabira kwako ka capital katono ate bagenda kuddayo babaganomaleko kisaka ekinene ani abadde akimanyi oyo gwe bayitani Musesa.
Faison has recommended the initiative, noting that the circle will shield youth from exploitative money lenders who often frustrate their businesses.
Kukola sako mu bantu bano betwayambako okubakwasiza ku business twatuukanga nga bakwata ndagamuntu zaabwe baziwamba nga bawaayo okusingayo ofuna ssente. Olwaleero tutongoza sako mwe banafuna akasente okwekulaakulanya. Eri muntu agenda kujjamu kumujjako ndagamuntu guno omulembe gwa Museveni gwe tutandise sisitimu teri agenda asingayo ndagamuntu kufuna looni.
He further encouraged the community to fully adopt the door-to-door mobilization strategy, saying Kawempe must be reclaimed from opposition influence.
Betusindise ku ground bagenda tambula nju ku nju, muntu ku muntu. Omuntu oyo nga bwe bamutuukako bamunnyonnyole programu ebirungi president byakoze ne programu zaleese. Bamunnyonnyole biki bye tugenda mu maaso okufuna okuganyulwamu nga bannayuganda. This time Kampala tetulina muzannyo.
Residents vowed to continue supporting President Museveni, citing improvements in security, peace, and service delivery in the area. The Youth Wealth Creation Program is expected to roll out across other divisions of Kampala, expanding the door-to-door campaign message. Rebecca Nantongo for UBC News.
The government of Uganda is piloting the intellectual property-based education in 27 selected schools around the country. The system aims to encourage learners to use their brains and creativity to produce work that can earn them money. This was revealed by the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, while launching the rollout of this program in selected schools. Semambo reports.
The Uganda government is encouraging citizens to embrace creativity and job creation for intellectual property. As part of this effort, 27 schools have been selected to pilot the intellectual property program, supporting the shift towards skill-based innovation, focused learning under the new curriculum.
With us, Gayaza. Policy of 2019 consolidates the legal gains, the policy gains, the the economic gains in all sectors that are aligned or integrated with intellectual property. The National Intellectual Property Policy of Uganda that actually was developed with the support, taking persistence from the World Intellectual Property Organization, where they got us international experts working with local experts.
Ambassador Francis Butagira, who heads the governing board of URSB, said this is a modern approach where people create and innovate, and highlighted some of the things that will be done.
As the engine of growth. So we want to make sure that innovations are promoted and protected, but also commercialized so that the country as a whole benefits. In this journey, we need partnership, as the Honorable Minister has said, with WIPO, particularly in the field of training, capacity building.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, said Uganda is developing IP-based education to help people turn their surroundings into solutions with the training at Makerere University.
First and foremost, to ensure that there are good policies and good laws. That's the role of the state. Fortunately, the World Intellectual Property Organization has pledged during the Director General's visit to work with us to update our IP policy.
Mr. Darren Tang, the Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, said that just as Uganda is discovering its natural resources, it must also discover and nurture the creativity and innovation of its people.
That potential. And let me share a few areas in which I think Vision 2040 and the Ugandan future economy will be driven by the intellectual property ecosystem. First, Uganda is a country with amazing innovation.
Amband Machawe Semambo for UBC.
Parliamentary campaigns may have kicked off on the 10th of November this year, but for some candidates, the strategy is changing with the needs on ground, as Eddie Olwa reports.
In Oyam South, the race is gaining momentum, especially for independent candidate Queen Dorothy Amolo, who says she has now entered the second phase of her campaign trail.
I'm asking the people what they want me to do for them when I go to Parliament. In my first phase, people told me what they want me to do. Now, in the second phase, I'm actually doing some of the things already.
As campaigns intensify across the country, Queen Dorothy Amolo believes her hands-on, needs-first approach will set her apart in the race for Yam South.
The women told me they don't have maternity dresses. They don't have knickers. The women told me they don't have shoes. So in my second phase, I've already bought for them the shoes, and I'm giving them. I'm giving all this Mama Queen kit to every woman that is pregnant.
For now, she continues her daily rounds of 3 venues a day, hoping that her commitment to meeting people's needs will translate into votes.
So I'm going to tackle the issues of my people, but I'm also going to address the national issues. And then I'm going to speak for them in Parliament. I'm going to make laws that favor the people of Oyam.
Despite facing challenges including illnesses from mosquito bites and dusty roads, Amolo says a week of rest was enough to bounce back stronger, more determined and energized. She is now committing to supplying 7,000 women with the maternity kits, launching the Queen Cup 2025 to mobilize youth through football and establishing village savings and capital accounts across the constituency, all aimed at improving livelihoods and strengthening community support systems.
I have 449 villages that are going to have their accounts opened, and we're going to fund it. We're starting for them a fund where they can, they borrow and pay back.
Amolo is among the 6 candidates vying to replace outgoing MP Betty Amongi, who represented Oyam South for more than a decade and is now contesting for Lira City Woman MP. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Hundreds Hundreds of beneficiaries under the parish development model and the Myoga initiatives in Kagadi district have gathered to celebrate their achievements and unveil a grassroots house-to-house mobilization campaign for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ahead of his visit to the Bunyoro sub-region next week. The president is expected to begin his mobilization and campaign trail in the Bunyoro sub-region on Tuesday, 9th December in Chibale district before proceeding to Kagadi on Saturday, 13th December. We have a detailed report.
Beneficiaries drawn from youth groups, women associations and persons living with disabilities have given testimonies of how the parish development model and the Myoga initiatives have uplifted their livelihoods, supporting enterprises in produce marketing, commercial farming, fishing and a range of small businesses. Among those registering notable progress are Kedres Mbabazi and Florence, whose projects in Kagadi and neighboring Chibale have grown steadily with PDM and Myoga financing. They also took part in launching the door-to-door mobilization effort for the president.
At first, I got a loan of 2 million. I had to buy some coffee, and the coffee which I bought, I really got a lot of money which helped me.
Because my store was very small, when you compare it today, I now have 2 stores. I have a very good school.
Kagadi District Commercial Officer and PDM Myoga focal person Peter Kusemererwa revealed that the district has received 52 billion shillings under the PDM program, of which 42 billions have already been dispersed to 151 parishes. He added that another 1.6 billion shilling in Myoga support has benefited 2,045 individuals across several enterprise groups.
This has gone to at least 45,314 people, and all these have benefited in the program of PDM.
Kagadi Resident District Commissioner Caroline Kashaija Nashemeza commended the beneficiaries for making prudent use of funds, noting visible improvements in household incomes and local economic activity. She reminded them of the president's earlier pledge of 100 billion shillings to strengthen Myoga cause, urging communities to continue supporting his agenda for sustained socio-economic transformation.
And in more news, Makerere University has announced a groundbreaking partnerships with SoonPay, a US-based company at the forefront of global blockchain innovation. This move is expected to position Uganda as a rising center for digital transformation on the African continent.
Most of you have created time.
University leaders say blockchain is already powering major economies, especially in the United States, and could help Uganda fast-track growth if embraced early.
Leaders in Uganda and Africa, we want to place ourselves in the position to be the ones that are going to spread the gospel of blockchain. Blockchain is the future for the world. Many countries are already using blockchain, especially the United States and a few other countries, and it is helping them very much to move their economies.
With the majority of Uganda's population being young, Makerere University believes the country holds a powerful human resource capable of driving technological change.
If you listen to what the professor said, Africa has always been consumers. We have always been left behind, right? When we talked about, again, as I mentioned, the Industrial Revolution, we were left behind. When we talked about the SWIFT bank system, credit card processing, we were left behind. When we talk about money transmission, we were left behind. We talk about AI, we were left behind. So now blockchain is here. We chose to make a difference, right? We no longer want to be left behind. We want to give our youth something to go through.
Officials challenged the students to invest their energy in research, innovation and skill development rather than constant political debates, noting that nations that advance rapidly focus on education and technology.
I don't think that I will miss my words. We are politicking too much. We are politicking too much. We think that politics is the most important way we are going to transform our society. I want to assure you that it is not. All the countries that have developed, the countries we admire, the so-called Asian tigers, they were not politicking. They invested in education and in research and innovation. That's what has changed them. Yeah, they also have their political systems, but they did not concentrate on that. So our young people, we are lucky we have got a young generation that seems to understand this. And the students at Makerere are now innovating a lot, they are researching a lot, they are reading a lot, they are concentrating on what brought them here, and we are already beginning to see a lot of innovations coming out.
The university also expressed concern over high primary school dropout rates and called on parents, schools and government to work together to keep children in class. Makerere further celebrated the recent recognition of its Vice-Chancellor as Africa's best educationist.
Congratulations to the Makerere Vice-Chancellor. Stakeholders in non-motorized mobility solutions have called on all organizations, especially those in the transport sector and the general public, to embrace the use of non-motorized means of transport as a means of improved air quality in the country. This was during the Cycling for Clean Air campaign intended to promote cycling as a cleaner and healthier alternative to motorized transport.
As early as 7 a.m., cyclists from different parts of the city gathered at Lugogo Bypass for the Cycling for Clean Air event organized by eBike Uganda together with Grant Thornton and other partners. The event is aimed at creating awareness and promoting cycling as an environmental protection initiative to reduce air pollution arising from carbon emissions.
The cars and the motorbikes that are always on the road, we've found that most of them are releasing a lot of carbon emissions. We call upon all Ugandans to join our Cycling for Clean Air advocacy.
According to the environmental assessments, Kampala's air pollution levels frequently exceed recommended limits, increasing cases of respiratory diseases, especially among children and people living near busy roads. The Cycling for Clean Air is expected to significantly cut emissions by encouraging the use of non-motorized transport, improve public health and reduce pressure on hospitals.
Kampala was listed among the cities that have the worst air quality, and this has been manifested, especially with people who have children, that the rate of infections that are related to air have increased.
The organizers of the Cycling for Clean Air have asked the government and the public to not only consider cycling as a sport, but also a solution to such environmental issues.
It helps to keep the environment clean, pollution-free, which has a direct impact on the environment and also on the health of the many of us.
Participants cycled through key routes in Kololo, demonstrating how cycling lanes and safer streets could transform urban mobility.
Means of transport, we are going towards renewable energies, towards alternative means that look at electric vehicles, electric cycling, for example, that we are going to have currently.
The director, Grant Thornton Foundation, called on government to invest in cycling infrastructure, including dedicated lanes and secure parking to make cycling safer and more practical for daily commuters.
Emission of carbon dioxide has been seen very increasing in the Ugandan environment. So this was one of the reasons we came with, in collaboration with the EB, to have an impact on the environment to reduce the carbon emissions. So
the initiative has been accompanied by sessions of tree planting across the country.
And I'm so excited to be here with the 1 million tree campaign, because one of our goals is also to purify the air.
With the transport emissions among the biggest contributors to air pollution, the Cycling for Clean Air Quality Initiative marks the beginning of a clean and greener future, especially in urban centers. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for EBC TV.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces has donated scholastic materials worth 75 million shillings to 93 schools across the Kigezi sub-region as part of activities ahead of the 45th Tarehe Sita celebrations in 2026. The consignment was handed over by Major Josephat Tumukunde, the head of education under the UPDF Joint Staff for Formal Education, Sports and Culture, during his visit to Kayungwe Primary School in Kanungo District.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces has extended support to schools in Kabale, Chisoro, Rubanda, Ruchega, Rukunjiri and Kanongo districts with Major Josephat Tumukunde delivering the materials on behalf of the Army's Education Department. He urged parents across the region to make full use of the prevailing peace to deepen their participation in their children's education.
So whatever we are doing, whatever we have done today, even other districts in Kigezi, we have been doing it. And in Kanunga alone, we have had 12 schools benefit from these scholastic materials. In the whole of Kigezi, we had 138 schools benefiting from scholastic materials. So it is not only for Kayumwe, but we are doing it in the whole of Kigezi sub-region, where the celebrations are going to take place.
At Kayungwe Primary School, Major Tumukunde handed over textbooks, pens, pencils and exercise books and applauded partners such as Vision Group for supporting the 2026 Tarehe Sita activities in Kigezi through additional textbook contributions. The head teacher Martin Twinebiona welcomed the donation, saying it reflects the peace and stability restored by the UPDF since 1981. He encouraged parents to continue valuing education, especially with the renewed boost in the learning materials.
And really, we want to thank these people, UPDF, for bringing scholastic materials to our learners.
Speaking on behalf of the pupils, Head Prefect Tukamusime Claire thanked the government for universal primary education and appreciated the UPDF for reaching out to learners as part of their community engagement efforts.
We thank you for remembering our school, Kayunga Primary School, and defending our country.
The donation is part of UPDF's wider program aimed at promoting education, patriotism and national unity across Uganda.
The government of Uganda has reaffirmed its partnership with the Islamic Development Bank as the impactful economic growth support project concludes. Speaking at the Ministry of Local Government, Haji Sewante M. Khalifan ensured that all project assets will transition to local government ownership for long-term sustainability. He praised the project's visible impact and thanked the Islamic Development Bank for its support, appealing for further development partner investment in essential services.
We have the construction and rehabilitation of earth dams, valley tanks and surface water schemes, and this talks to majorly those water infrastructure for production that are still ongoing. In terms of physical progress overall, we are at 63% and we have made a financial progress of 52%. But the overall cost that we are investing in this infrastructure is around $4.09 million.
But there was a special request from Dr. Omar and Brother Jamal that we tweak or do another one that would also address the issue of the lack of a school and a health center at the island.
Road electrification. So all the sites that we installed the mini-grid systems had no plan of getting power for 10 years. 2, we looked at sites that have economic growth potential. What is being done? You know, we want power to come to catalyze economic development. What is out there?
Look back at what we've been able to do, what has gone very well, what has probably kind of like challenged us, but more importantly, what do we need to do between now and the end.
The UBC News Tonight will take a short commercial break and return with more news. Please do not move an inch.
Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Kabogos, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namagudi to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
Yakamande pakabanda Register for NSSF Everything you see my life Now deep down in the Marara Make NSSF payments No wahala okubeka langala NSSF sure is not far But tomorrow kuhika kotido Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments, and contributions to your Smart Life account to Ubeda. NSSF, a better life.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. In more news, the Ministry of Education and Sports is putting more emphasis in the implementation of the TVET Act of 2025, aiming at improving skills development and producing graduates who can compete on the labor market. This has been disclosed by Innocent Kemigisha, the Senior Technical Vocational Education Trainer at the Ministry of Education and Sports, while officiating at the Vocational Skills Fair held at Lugogo Vocational Training Institute in Kampala.
Government rolled out the new TVET Act in March 2025 to promote vocational training to industrial level. 15 students from Lugogo Vocational Training Institute are competing in this year's Inter-Vocational Skills Fair for Kampala Metropolitan Region in the vocational trades of woodworker technology, electrical installation and building construction. Innocent Kemigisha Mukoli, a senior TVET officer at the Ministry of Education and Sports, says the ministry is advocating for quality graduates that are responsive to the labor market.
This exhibition is in line with the TVET Act 2025, which began in 2025 in March, and exhibitions like this are encouraged to begin. The TVET Act is an employer-led machine that encourages our system to go employer-led.
Kemigisha hailed Enabel, a Belgium development agency, and other donors for their contribution towards vocational training in the country.
This activity has been sponsored by Enable, and Enable is sponsoring other institutions in the metropolitan, institutions like Gombe, and here are being sponsored under this project. We thank them so much, and other of our development partners, and encourage them to even sponsor more of our institutions.
The chief head trainer at Lugogo Vocational Training Institute, Tumuhamia Wilson, says the focus of the program is competency, quality, and skills development.
The purpose of this event is targeted to the youth, the parents, female gender, and the entire public to embrace vocationalization as the only way to kick out poverty and unemployment amongst our people which is translated in the theme of the day, choose vocational education, get skilled and be unstoppable.
The program manager, Enabel Emmanuel Kisangala, says they are promoting technical excellency and unlocking pathways to decent work for Uganda's youth. He calls on parents and guardians to entrust vocational training to their children at an early age.
And we are here because we believe in potential of vocational training, technical and vocational education, and not just as an option, but it's a powerful practical pathway to employment.
Competitors commended educational stakeholders for the vocational skills fair.
No one forced me to do it. I did it out of passion. I loved it since my childhood. So, since my childhood, I wanted to become a construction engineer.
When I was selected, actually, I was happy because I wanted always to represent land. I love competition and challenging myself to see what comes out of me, what people think of me, and what if I do something, is it appreciated? Like that's what I always do basically.
People in the Karamoja sub-region are pushing for increased local government budgets, amendments to the decentralization policy and the integration of integrity and patriotism in the national education curriculum at all levels. This emerged during the annual Karamoja Regional Accountability Forum held in Moroto Municipality, organized by the Civil Society Network Karamoja. Let's take a look.
Residents of Moroto have taken part in the annual Karamoja Regional Accountability Forum organized by the Ria Miriam Civil Society Network Karamoja to assess the region's strides in promoting transparency, integrity and responsible leadership. The
big offices in the Moroto here are for men. Yeah, that's local government. You need to, there's nothing of technical know, godparent, and you need some money. It denies those who have the capacity to work in those offices.
Meeting attracted officials from the Inspectorate of Government, district leaders, civil society organizations, the media and community advocates.
But my money as cow, then you bring out the last month, you open the TikTok clock and you return the money. Even when 10%. So in the Karamoja, even the 10% does not reach for service delivery. It is returned to the center. How can we advocate that we reinstate the revenue back to help the sub-county, to help renovate schools, to help with the district? The added vegetation. And one thing is, the district does not have a strong platform to monitor listing financing.
Participants raised concerns over persistent absenteeism, corruption in recruitment process, and prolonged acting positions within local government.
So until we get a wage, that's when we can start the recruitment process. So acting positions somehow exist because of wage.
The projects that are being funded at the central government are the ones that tend to be stalled. They don't get to the completion of it.
Speakers encouraged the communities to play an active role in combating corruption, while cultural injustices were highlighted as a major obstacle to effective accountability.
Let the police come, I'm not there. Let them do it, and if the community must be at the front line.
Residents of Namasho Parish in Bulecheke district want government to gazette their famous bullfighting activity as a tourism attraction venture to fetch the country and themselves revenue for development. This was as hundreds of people thronged Namasho playgrounds in Bulecheke sub-county, Bududa district. Bullfighting, a game that continues to unite communities as well as promote culture across Bugisu sub-region. Dorcas Kimono has an in-depth report.
Ready, set and fight is the non-verbal communication between the bulls and the owners as they prepare the contenders for the competition that is a display of both strength and respect. Bullfighting in Namasho Playground, found in Rucheke Sub-County, Bududa District, is an event for every Saturday, but is massively enjoyed towards the end of the year when most bulls are sold.
But today is the last time we are bringing them here to wrestle, since it is the end of year. And after December, most of them are going to be sold.
The bulls are selected from all the sub-counties across the district, but the consideration for one to compete is how much it weighs. Before the fight, the crowd gathers to cheer their favorite competitors with traditional songs. The fight can go on for over 30 minutes depending on the number of competitors, and at the end of the contest, the winner is crowned with praises and a local dance. One of the bull owners says this activity brings unity among the farmers.
Niwe buchigai niwe koen niwe bumayokati nali tu ilyefe tindo lyena bwai lya khuyeta lya khurera busale bukani khumanyana.
They called upon other communities to engage in bull fattening so as to fetch more revenue from the sale of their animals, thus chase poverty out of their homes.
Atakwaisama tuno tsenyere tukwaisa ni tingas khwakamaka mabere khwasumisoro mabana tuno tuno kwaisa paka wakulisa milioni musamvu wabukula khwakula kholuwendo wapila khomwana school fees isomero nibala khwabera tsikosi.
Apart from prestige, the winners do not earn anything. They now want government to gazette bullfighting activity as a tourist attraction venture with potential to fetch participants household income.
Fenga babayi kulomba kuri government khali huwambilokho khombera shisawa shino khubenga shisawa shino shibashesi babantu babamebula bazungu buli muntu babenga bye bulambuzi babenga bawagira babayi lukaneshesi bezanile babenga bashire
tena khukholera kho memore khushebulya bita ibya betsako kuli kumunya uko betsako khwamakhale kwetsiunwa khubona tsitsipana.
In this community, the bullfighting practice is said to have started over 200 years ago. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The Ruparelia Foundation has once again extended its support to vulnerable women and children in Kamocha and neighboring communities as part of its Christmas corporate social responsibility activities. This year, residents of Kamocha, Kisenyi 2 and Mulago Nsoba benefited from this initiative. Let's take a look.
Every Christmas, the Ruparelia Group reaches out to people living in informal settlements, providing food relief and other essential items. The current beneficiaries include families from Kamocha, Kisenyi 2 and Mlagonsova communities, areas long challenged by poverty and limited social services.
There's some people that are not as lucky as others and are in less fortunate situations. With my brother, Akshay, a couple of years ago we decided to come here, and first we started by building the toilets using plastic bottles that the community here collected, which we paid them for, and then we supported the build of the toilets. And after that, once we started coming to the community more and more and often, we decided that if not everyone gets the opportunity to celebrate Christmas in the same way, and we thought we would bring Christmas to the communities.
China Ruparelia noted that their support goes beyond food, aiming to improve general hygiene and overall well-being in slum communities.
This initiative was started by my brother a couple of years ago, and obviously, he had a big heart and he really felt part of the community, and so we decided that we will continue to do this year.
As part of this year's CSR activities, the foundation also unveiled a newly constructed toilet facility in Mlagonsova. The facility will serve both Good Samaritan Primary School and the surrounding community, which has faced serious sanitation challenges. Local leaders have described the intervention as timely, highlighting long-standing sanitation gaps that exposed children and residents to health risks.
Too much, and it's still too much,
but it's one of the things that are challenging the slum. So unemployment combined with unplanned disposal of waste that leads to drainage blockages and hence leading to flooding fosters to look for people like Rupaleria and work together to make a difference.
Once again with the Rupaleria group of companies and the associates, it's really a very tremendous opportunity ever since when they came to support the orphanage school, the Good Samaritan school. We had no toilet by then. Right now, as I count, it's coming 5 years.
The Rupaleria Group says it plans to continue supporting vulnerable communities as part of its commitment to transforming lives across Uganda. I am Chibedi Bashir for UBC.
Ugandans are being urged to adopt electric transport and other energy-saving technologies as part of a renewed effort to protect the environment and improve household income. This was revealed during a press briefing in Chanja, near the Kampala district, where preparations are in high gear for the 10th edition of the Olwe Kobano and Energy Expo 2025, organized by the Basoga in Diaspora and set for 15th December in Kaliro district.
Uganda remains among the African countries experiencing a fast rise in fuel-powered motorcycles and vehicles in urban centers, as an increase that has heightened concerns over emissions and long-term environmental impact. To counter this trend, organizers of the upcoming expo are calling on Ugandans to transition to electrical vehicles, motorcycles and other clean energy appliances that lower fuel costs while supporting environmental conservation.
In these renewable energies, we also have people to come and exhibit what they can sell to our people. So in the process, there is that interrelationship with our people.
The treasurer of Busoga Yefe, Frederick Mudoi, says they are partnering with Luka Solar and other clean energy innovators to deliver the 10th edition of the exhibition, which is expected to draw a diverse group of participants.
ASEA and others, they are there. Then we also have the local community who will come and exhibit their own businesses, like things to do with our local hubs.
Mudoi notes that the expo will also include a free medical camp, tree planting activities and community training sessions on the latest energy efficient technologies. Some exhibitors, including Luka Solar's founder and Germany-based innovator Kadzu Wen, have also shared their expectations ahead of the event.
Is a member of Uganda Solar Energy Association, is our lead organizer, but there's a team of strategic partners or organizations, like I told you, including NREP. NREP is the National Renewable Energy platform that brings about all renewable energy stakeholders together. They are organizers.
The problem is that we pay a lot of money for transport of people, and so we look for solutions to improve this also. And we saw that electricity with the motorcycles is a really good way to improve the transport system in Uganda.
Fred Kasibante and Zuhura Birunji, UBC.
Kagula Hill in Kachiri quietly came alive as men of God from more than 15 nations gathered for the 16th Annual Ministerial Convention at Caring Heart Breakthrough Victory Community Church. Details follow.
The convention, which brings together pastors from across the globe, aims to equip and remind ministers of the gospel to walk in the truth of Christ while giving hope and guidance to the congregations.
We want to return to the biblical truth, and because we want to return to the biblical truth through the teachings here, all the errors have been erased.
The Caring Heart Breakthrough Victory Community Church on Kagula Hill in Kakiri Wakiso district is a community that continues to champion child growth, youth empowerment and adult transformation, and has intensified efforts to unite pastors under one umbrella for learning, renewal and spiritual reinforcement in their ministry work.
Our message for the children is the message of hope, the hope of a better day. The Lord tells us in His Word in John 14, He said, I go to prepare a place for you. If it were not so, I would have told you. He said, I will come again, that where I am, there you may be also. And so these children that have come from all over Uganda that are living here, and they have had a tough life to begin their life off, but now they have met Jesus. They are being cared for and loved for, and they're being told there is a Holy Spirit.
In its 16th edition, this gathering of Nations Bible Believers Conference has hosted over 15 pastors from various countries for this year's annual Pastors Convention.
We actually came from South Sudan, many pastors and church leaders, and we had a zeal and a desire to attend this conference. And the reason is, as the Bible said, that the Word of God is powerful and it is sharper than two-edged sword.
Na tuliweza kualikwa pia na baba yetu Paul Musisi kuja kwenye kongamano ya watumishi ya Mungu balidere yote kutoka Afrika Centrale na kutoka nchi ya Europe, kutoka hata Amerika. Na kweli tumebarikiwa sana.
Paul Musisi Lubowa, the lead pastor at Caring Heart Victory Community Church, emphasized the importance of the convention, noting that it greatly benefits men of God.
The reason we gather as pastors is to equip ourselves to get back to the Bible truth. You see so many people today, or churches today of Balokole, they have diverted from the truth. So we gather pastors all over. You've seen pastors from Congo, DRC, Sudan, South Sudan, as far as Juba, Tanzania, Nigeria, everywhere. We had over 15 nations here. Is to come back to the Bible truth. The Bible says in John chapter 8 and verse 32, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free.
He highlighted the need for ministers to walk rightly and explain why pastors from different nations gather at his church.
Each and every believer must stand in his position in the gift he's been given. That's how you can develop, that's how you can become powerful.
At the gathering, more than 1,000 Bibles were distributed to the congregation to strengthen their faith. World-renowned U.S. preacher Michael Chori expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to minister in Africa and give hope to the people.
We've been teaching them on the message of the cross and the soon coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. They have learned what Jesus has done at the cross to set the captive free, to save and deliver people from an eternity away from God in hell, and also how to teach in their churches.
During the convention, several pastors expressed appreciation, citing the significance and impact of the gathering.
Stakeholders in Mbale and Kumi districts are sounding an alarm over the rising HIV infections among young girls, warning that Uganda's push to eliminate AIDS by 2030 is at risk unless local governments increase funding for the fight. During budget advocacy meetings organized by the Mbale Network for Young People Living with HIV, activists expressed concern that the struggle against HIV is being undermined by inadequate district budget allocations. These are the details.
Mbale District HIV focal person Robert Wandwasi says progress in the region's push to eliminate AIDS by 2030 has stalled due to limited funding, leaving frontline workers unable to reach vulnerable groups.
The 0.1% of our budget is 33 million in a financial year, but the much we can access is just like 20% of that allocation. We feel that for the response to be uniform, then we would wish that the government deliberately allocates a grant.
Wandwasi notes that new infections continue to climb, particularly among young girls who are now contracting HIV at a ratio of 3 to 2 compared to boys.
It is 2 against 3. So meaning that our young people who are getting infected it is more of the girls than the boys.
Mbale network of young people living with HIV has been conducting budget literacy sessions for young people and key stakeholders across Mbale and Kumi. Participants at the meetings called for increased district investment in special interest groups, including young people and persons living with HIV.
The budget allocation has not been so reliable. Resources allocated are insufficient to meet this. And what I think the recommendation I can give is I greatly emphasize that there should be some other practices that should be put in place to meet the demands of the youth.
0.01 is not enough because we're still facing challenges of young people getting new infections. This is just because of the sensitization, which is still low.
Mbale District Planner Wanale Abdallah Magumu emphasized the need for a standalone HIV budget within the district health department to guarantee consistent support for HIV services.
You must have an independent budget for HIV because you have those youth corners at facilities. But how do you fail to have a budget?
We have advocated for youth representation, and this is going to help us have them in all those committees advocating for some of the services which have been marginalized over time.
For the young person living with HIVs, them sitting at OPD and health worker coming to call their name, Peter, come and pick your RVs. It makes them to run out of care.
As the world observes HIV and AIDS Month, leaders are calling on parents to stay vigilant, protect their children, and create open spaces for conversations about HIV prevention and care. Charity Marion Imnat and Muhammad Diga for UBC.
And in more news, parents have been advised to attract their children into performing arts as a way of increasing the vocational inclusion to help boost their scope from an early age. Let's take a look.
Parents have been encouraged to guide their children into performing arts and vocational skills to widen their abilities from an early age.
It's amazing to see such young minds on the stage performing with a lot of creativity. To me as a teacher, I'm very excited. I know these performances will boost their esteem, and you know very well what it means when one has high esteem.
This comes as Uganda's new curriculum continues to promote hands-on learning across schools.
Such events are very important in the lives of young children because they help them explore their talent, discover the inner blessing, the inner anointing, the inner gift that God has given to each and every one of them. And looking at the performances that have been exhibited today, we know that indeed God is at work in them. We pray that the schools and also the parents will be able to nurture these gifts so that we may have stars rising from the many children that have performed today.
At Mbuya Parents Nursery School, Royal and Elite Campus, administrators say practical skills are shaping more confident and creative learners.
As a school, we look at building the children's confidence, and through these concerts, through the music, the dance, the drama, we help bring this up.
The remarks were made during the school's annual Performing Arts Day, which also featured a graduation ceremony for pupils transitioning to lower primary. Teachers noted that exposure to music, dance and drama and basic vocational activities help children discover talents that can support their future livelihoods.
Ugandans have been urged to desist from stigma against children with disabilities. This call has been made by Senchima Stephen, Deputy Country Director of Finn Church Aid Uganda, during a media briefing following celebrations to mark International Day of Children with Disabilities.
Senchima Stephen, the Deputy Country Director, Finn Church Aid Uganda, implores parents and the general public to show empathy to children with disabilities in order for them to feel loved and not stigmatized.
I want to appeal to all parents, wherever they are, that have children with disabilities, that this is not a curse, that disabilities can be handled. if they are detected early, we need to support these children because they are part of our families, they are our children, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. We need to work together to make sure that we create a disability-free world. But even those children with disabilities, even if we have not been able to do corrective surgery, let us make sure that these children are supported, because we have seen even people with disabilities doing wonderful things, you know, more than even those that are able-bodied, those are without disabilities. So everyone matters, nobody should be left behind.
Also present at the function was Esau Atunjeri, the FIN project coordinator.
Whether a child has a developmental delay. Before a child develops a disability, usually they first have developmental delays that finally cripple them into disability that is permanent. If you know you have a child that has a developmental delay or a disability, I call upon you not to keep that child in the house.
Stakeholders in affairs of children with disabilities have also requested for promotion of nutritional standards for these children, since most health complications arise as a result of poor nutrition. Ongeso Godwin Mark and Kayumba Stephen for UBC News in Kampala.
Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda. La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
Power your moment. Techno, the global partner of AFCON 2025.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. Peace and political stability are some of the key issues that Ugandans have been encouraged to consider and re-elect President Museveni come 15th January 2026. According to the Presidential Advisor on Economics and Manifesto Implementation, also aspiring member for Parliament for Shema South, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, Uganda is an icon of peace in the Great Lakes region, an effort of the President.
The NRM has been in power for close to 40 years, an achievement that is attributed to the able leadership of the party chairman and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Maintaining peace for 40 years is something we don't take for granted. It is something we want to pay back Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to continue his leadership. The district Shema has benefited.
The aspiring member of Parliament for Shema North, Dr. Elioda Tumwesije, says the provision of Shema district status is reason enough to Shema residents to vote for President Museveni, as well as all the other NRM candidates.
President Museveni and indeed the UPDF and former NRA
have fought so many rebellions, and he also used persuasion.
And of course, that's all we had time for. Thank you for being a lovely audience, and that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language, and I'm styled by La Vie Boutique on Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8 behind Bank of Uganda.